see you. How you doing?
Barbara Cooper.
Welcome.
What a great,
Yeah, you see?
the whole high tech going here. How are you?
Joseph Crowley.
Everybody. So, well, I see I have a little fan going there as well, because it's a little close. But it's been a while since I've been back, because I've been down in Washington, and we've been working on a number of issues. And does anyone here have any money in the stock market?
No.
Good move. And does anybody here want their Social Security in the stock market? No. So one of the last times I was here, I was talking about that. And this is a good example. The stock market, in my opinion, is what we call legalized gambling. Okay? And there's always a risk when you're involved. The payoff could be high, but also the downside could be great as well. So that's one of the reasons why I'm not for privatizing Social Security. I don't believe we should do that. We should leave Social Security safe and keep it sound. Another thing is that this whole discussion that's been going on in Washington about the debt ceiling. Have you been following that?
Yes. And about our Social Security.
This is a entirely phony and fake crisis that now is turned into real consequences for people. There was no reason why we had to link deficit reduction with raising the cap on our spending. The reason is the debt ceiling, the lifting of the debt ceiling was not to pay for future spending. It was to pay for debts that we already were obligated to. We already owed that money. And never in the history of the United States has the United States ever not paid the money that it owes. And that goes back to the founding of our country. The first grand bargain that was really made was between Alexander Hamilton, Thomas Jefferson, and James Madison. Not James Monroe, James Madison. And Madison and Jefferson were from the state of Virginia. And they had already paid all their debts after the Revolutionary War. Because each state was like a country, right? They all had their own debts. And Hamilton wanted to make a national bank, and he wanted the 13 colonies to assume all the debts together. And Hamilton and Jefferson hated each other. They personally disliked each other vehemently. But they worked on behalf of the betterment of the whole country. And because of the deal they made, New York City is not the capital of the United States today. Back then, we were the capital of the United States. The reason why the capital was moved to a swamp in Virginia, where it is today, between Virginia and Maryland, is because of what was called a grand bargain. And a lot of people don't know that. But that's when government, even when people didn't like each other, worked together to make a better government, a better country. And you fast forward to today, what the president should have said in his speech, he should have said, it never happened under Washington, it didn't happen under Lincoln, it didn't happen under Ronald Reagan, and it won't happen while I'm president of the United States. That's what he should have said. And instead, we now have a created crisis that has now moved into the markets because of their lack of faith in our political system. We're better than that. Our country is better than that as well. And that's why I'm here, wanted to talk to you today about another celebration. You remember a little while ago I was here to celebrate a birthday. Does anyone remember the birthday we celebrated?
Social Security.
Social Security. Does anyone know what birthday I want to celebrate today?
Medicare.
Medicare. It's 45 years young. 45 years old, okay? And where would we be without Medicare today? Think of people who have catastrophic health problems. And look, we can complain about Part B, And we can complain about a lack of a COLA increase in Social Security, and I agree with you. But where would we be today without Social Security and without Medicare? With all its warts, with all its problems. And one of the problems with this particular debate that was going on is Republicans wanted to cut Social Security and Medicare entitlements. They didn't want to put any taxes or revenues on the table. So the wealthiest in this country continue to get the biggest tax break in the history of the United States that was put in by George Bush. We are engaged in 2 wars, Iraq and Afghanistan. We have expanded Medicare Part D, and we have not paid for those.
Take a picture.
Sorry.
Look this way. Lizette, que entre, que entre.
All right. Ready? Happy birthday to you.
Epa, come on.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Medicare. Happy birthday to you. I'm not going to blow out the candles. I'm not going to it. Just get over a cold.
65.
So who's going to blow the candles?
I got 65.
Come on.
Blow the candles.
What? Hold up the cake.
Hold up the cake.
Come on up. Gotta get the picture.
Vente, vente.
Hold the cake, honey.
Come on.
Pia, Pia.
Look at that cake. Look at the cake boss. Well, it looks like it.
Look this way, look this way. Smile.
1, 2, 3.
All right, guys, we need a couple more. Ready? Right here. Everyone, look right here. Ready?
Ready? Look this way.
2, 3. We're gonna say a couple more. Ready? 1. Everyone, look right here. 1, 2, 3.
Got it.
Any preguntas? Any questions? Sorry.
Preguntas.
Hey, believe it or not, settle down. Come to you. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Miriam.
I'm on Medicare also. And right about now with the government cutting everything, how is it that we can improve and help the Democrats to win the seats back in Congress? I have to teach my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren and my daughter to be able to have confidence, because the confidence is at stake with who we elect.
Yeah.
And I understand that you have to fight for us, you know, and I try to teach them you have to go for the person that's going to fight for your rights.
Right.
How is it that we can work all together to improve getting more Democrats into the vote?
Let me first say this. My wife is not from New York. She's from Montana. She grew up as a cowgirl. She grew up on a ranch. And they have a lot of land, but they're a struggling middle-class family because they live off the land. You know, but my mother-in-law says, I'm worth more dead than alive because the land is worth something if you sell it. But as you own it, you pay tax on the land and you have to keep working it to stay afloat. So my children, my 3 kids, are for 3 weeks in Montana as we speak. And they're having a good time. They're fishing with their grandfather. They're getting to ride some horses. They're going to have a fun time. But my son called me last night. He's 11 years old. And he's stressed out. He's stressed out because of these young men who died in Afghanistan. He talked to me